Hello and welcome to Mindset Mondays with DTK. This is episode 99 in an ongoing series of live broadcasts designed for those with the growth mindset or for those who'd like to create one. If you'll take just a moment to click share just beneath the screen and invite folk in your community, your colleagues, your friends, your people to join this conversation. The more folk we have in the conversation, the richer it is. Okay, today is a chance to reconnect with a Lebanese American poet named Khalil Gibran. And today, this is the quote we're playing with. To be able to look back upon one's life in satisfaction is to live twice. To be able to look back upon one's life with satisfaction is to live twice. Khalil Gibran is most well known for his book, a book of English American prose poetry written in 1923 called The Prophet. And I sort of feel like the beginning of the year is a beautiful time to reconnect with him as a poet and with this piece. I love that with the hiatus that just happened, this turns out to be one of the first broadcasts of the year instead of the last ones of the year. I think it's much more fitting. So again, to be able to look back upon one's life, one's year, one's quarter, one's week, one's day with satisfaction is to live twice. I'm just back from an epic trip, and it's amazing how easy it is to fall back into previous patterns, especially how cold. So when I have a cold, it's amazing how my intention can wane quickly. I just want to curl up and go to. I slept all weekend, and this morning I still want to do the same thing. I just want to curl up. So I'm noticing how easy it is to get drawn and overwhelmed by life's demands and slip into that habitual ease of reactivity instead of intention or living on purpose. Challenge is, by doing that, by surrendering to that, we end up living unconsciously, and we extend that over time, and that can mean living an unconscious and unremembered life. You know, when we move through our world unconsciously, there's very little of our minute by minute, day by day, week by week, year by year experience that we remember. It just wafts by. And if we live that way, what then will we muse upon in the future at the end of the quarter, the end of the year, the end of our youth? What will we muse on? What will we remember? What memories will pass before us? If we live on purpose and with intent, right? We create experiences that feed our souls. That is a recipe for a rich replay later. And that's why I love this quote. To be able to look back upon one's life in satisfaction is to live twice. That's why it's critical to make your life memorable. Not solely for the sake of whatever you choose to be doing in any given moment, but for your future self to enjoy again years from now. We just got back from Africa, and 2 weeks completely off the grid. We sat at a table in the middle of Zimbabwe, in the middle of the bush. And one of the other families that was there, look over at their table, and they're evidently sitting in the one place in camp where the staff Wi-Fi works. And all 4 of them are doing this. You know, they occasionally look up and make nasty comments about the Patriots, which we really appreciated. But they sat at the table, surrounded by beauty, a handful of yards from a watering hole where wildlife is standing, staring at their phone, barely talking to each other, barely engaged in what's going on around them. Yes, I am one to surrender to the tyranny of the flat glass. Yes, that happens to me as well. And still, it's an opportunity to create memories, and they're missing it. I mean, we're sitting at our table cracking up, laughing, telling stories, some of the day, some stories of what we want to do tomorrow, talking to the staff, hearing hysterical stories about how they got their nicknames. We're creating memories with each other and with those around us. I'm not voting, I'm not judging, I'm drawing a comparison of how some people choose to move through the world or allow themselves to move through the world, and how some choose to be in the world. And that's the opportunity to live a life that when you are older, you are able to look back upon your life in satisfaction, and to give yourself that gift of living twice. To live now on purpose, and to do things that feed and nurture your soul, to do things that create memories, and to do those things every day as a matter of habit and routine. That's the opportunity. Is one does not live a memorable life necessarily by doing magnificently huge things. It's by doing things that are worth remembering daily. It's the opportunity to engage actively in your world. So, what comes up for you? What are the ways in which you can make your life memorable now? What comes up for me is the opportunity to look back on your life up until now, regardless of how old you are, and look at what memories stand out. Can you say now that you're looking back in satisfaction? You have the opportunity to live twice already. What are the memories that surface for you? What makes it memorable? Well, Rhonda, I love the question. Why do you think that people need the buffer of the flat glass? I think, and by the way, it's Steve August who shared that term with me, the tyranny of the flat glass. And I think it's brilliant, because whether it's whatever the handheld device is, or your laptop or your computer, it has become the tyranny of the flat glass. And Rhonda, I think it's an escape. It's an opportunity for people to bug out and disconnect, because it's easier. You can completely and utterly control your experience by choosing what to look at online. And I'm making this up as I go. I mean, this is my thought as to what that buffer is. It's ease. It's escape. No matter how riled you get at the post you see on social media, you're in control. Your brain can shut off. You're in receive mode. Television, social media, email. And you juxtapose that, the escape of the flat glass, with the idea of spending time with parents and grandparents and hearing their stories and connecting to those memories. That's receive mode as well, I guess, to an extent. And yet, we're not genetically predisposed to connect with inanimate objects. We are genetically hardwired, predisposed to connect with humans, to be in human connection. That's our opportunity. We're wired for it. Yes, we're also wired for soothing. So Rhonda, yeah, I think the buffer of the flat glass is also soothing. Try to take a screen away from a 10-year-old. See the response you get. I don't know, try to take it away from a 40-year-old obsessed with what they're doing at work. It can be the same thing. But what's the opportunity? Where is it? There's nothing about the flat glass Let me check that. Say there's nothing about the flat glass that can nurture you, and yet I know that every Shabbos when we have kids in 3 different states, we've got a FaceTime chat or a FaceTime video call going with all of them so that we can do the Shabbos prayers together. So are there ways that the flat glass can foster communication? Absolutely. Is that what most of us use it for? No, I think most of us use it for escape. I think most of us use it for soothing. I think that's unfortunately what a lot of it has become. Yes, I use the iPad for my Kindle, so I read on that. I also turn on Do Not Disturb when I'm reading on it so that I'm not getting all the pings of social media and email, so I don't get all the distractions. I create a container. Not so good on the phone because I get engaged and I get riled in a lot of the conversations, communication I do have through some time shifted mechanism like social media. But I also make space for human connection. Where are you making space for human connection? Where during your week are you making space for human connection? Outside of client work, outside of meetings, human connection that's by choice, not by work structure. Somebody told me long ago, if it's not on your calendar, it's not important to you. Your calendar does not lie. Wondering why you're not working out? Look at your calendar. Is workout time on your calendar? Not home for dinner as many times during the week as you want to be? Is it on your calendar? Elaine's calendar, my wife, it'll say prep to leave office for dinner. It says it on there every day in the evening. If it's not on your calendar, it's not important to you. So what are you doing to create memories so that when you look back upon your life, you can look back in satisfaction and have the opportunity to live twice? What are you carving out time for on your calendar? All right, it's almost the Ides of January. We're just approaching the middle of the month, right? You have better than half a month left in January and another 11 months left in 2020. What will you do to create memories and live a memorable life this year, this week, this afternoon? What will you do? So between now and next Monday morning, I'd love you to come to Mindset or to facebook.com/groups/Mindset Mondays and come visit the group. Share your thoughts. Share your insights on this conversation or any of the previous episodes that are there, and share the ones you find interesting. You can also go to mindsetmondays.tv, which takes you to all of the uploaded recordings on my website. It's a lot easier to roll through them. And it's also easier to share them to your outlets and the places where your people congregate. And between now and next week, same question. What mindset will you choose?